Melanzane alla Parmigiana tonight, which is eggplant Parmigiana. You know, it's interesting because there's Parmigiana, you would think that is from Parma, which is a city about half an hour away from my hometown in Italy, which is Modena. And that's where Parmesan cheese comes from. But actually, funny enough, it seems like the origins is probably either Sicily or Naples.
Or Calabria.
Or Calabria, Puglia.
Puglia, there were like four places.
So we don't know exactly where it comes from, this recipe. We know that it's made with melanzane, with, you know, eggplants. And eggplants are very much a vegetable from the south of Italy. I mean, it actually comes, in Sicily, they use it everywhere. Is that correct? Maria had just been to Sicily. When was it?
April. Last April. We spent a month in Italy, but we spent about 2 weeks of it in Sicily, and it was phenomenal. Yes. Absolutely phenomenal.
I'm looking forward to go. As you know, I'm going soon, so I'm preparing now with all these eggplants because that's very much a wonderful, wonderful vegetable to use. Okay, so as I said to you, for the ones who want to cook with me, I said, go ahead and prepare the melanzane. I'm gonna show you two things. I've done it already because otherwise we would be here for a very long time. And I said to you, either you grill it or you fry it, okay? So if you grill it, it's probably a better, you know, generally speaking, I would just slice it vertically like that, and I would peel it by grilling it. But if you want to fry it, I would just cut it this way, like around, yeah. Also about 1 centimeter high, which is like 2/3 of an inch. Is that correct? And then you deep fry it. So you basically put, you know, I'm not going to do it now, but you know how to deep fry. I'm sure you do. So you just put like about 1.5 inches of oil in a pan, and you just let it drip and drop. And then once it's nice and golden, you pick it out. And that's your fried eggplant.
But just 1.5 inches is a lot.
No, an inch.
Okay.
1 inch.
Okay.
No, 1.5 inches. Okay. Is that a lot?
It's a lot.
Okay, then an inch. Sorry.
Okay.
My numbers. Yeah. Anyway, but if you want to grill it instead, you set your oven at 350 or 375. In this case, let's just do 375. You, as I said, you cut your peel and cut your melanzane. You take your extra virgin olive oil. I just put a little bit here, but it could be in a little bowl. And then you brush it a couple of times, brush it underneath, and it's ready to go in your oven for about 25 minutes until it gets soft. And the reason why I do it this way when I grill it is because grilling obviously is not going to be as soft as when you fry it, because when you fry it, it absorbs all the oil and obviously gets more mushy, let's say. But by grilling it, obviously it needs to, without the skin, it just melts more, okay? So we're going to put this aside, 1 and 2. And I'm going to show you my final, what should I call it? You know, what I did earlier on. So I grilled them. As you can see, they're very soft, right? You can see that they've been definitely cooked.
So how long did you grill that?
These are like about 25 minutes.
At what temperature?
At 375.
Okay. So that's finished and grilled.
So this is done, ready to be used. Now we're going to make the sauce. So what do we need to do to make the sauce? We're going to use a couple of onions. We can both do it. Well, a couple just because they're tiny. Otherwise, you would use a 1 onion and a sweet onion. So either a white onion or a yellow onion, not a red one. And you just chop them finely.
Just by the way, everybody who's watching, Francesca,
yes,
if you have any messages or any questions, please type a message into the meeting chat.
Please.
And I'll be happy to relay the message over to Francesca.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to chop the onion. Got the wrong knife here. You've got the good one. But, you know, as long as it's, you know, small little pieces, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then what we're going to do once the onion is done, we are gonna stir fry it. Woo, sorry about that. Slipped my hand. There it is. One. We're ready, we can do that. And for you tonight, I'm gonna use the spoons. I finally bought, how do you call this thing? Measuring spoons. I finally bought measuring spoons because Italians, that's the one thing that differs the Italians from the French, is that the Italians, they just do everything without measuring, okay? The French, everything has to be like perfect. And I just had to give in. I had to do this because I couldn't just tell you, you must put this much. It just doesn't work. So let's just do it properly. This is a 1 tablespoon. 1, 2, I would say 4, 3, and 4.
And Francesca, what's that for?
This is going to be the sauce.
Okay.
This is going to be the red part of the dish. So the dish is composed of the melanzane, the eggplant, a red sauce, and mozzarella, and obviously Parmesan cheese, which is being great.
Fresh mozzarella you have there?
This is as fresh as it can be. We're not in Italy.
Okay.
Which my heart breaks when I have to use this mozzarella. When you go and visit Italy, you know what I mean, because the real mozzarella, it's very different. But this is what you get, and this is what we use. Okay, we can't complain too much. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna put this on the fire. On the stove, and I'm gonna put it on 6 out of 8 so that it starts cooking. But I don't want to overcook it. You cry.
No.
Say my friend, she's the best one who can do a naked chop an onion. So sorry about that. I'm gonna put a little bit of spiciness to it because in this family we like a little bit of red chili.
All right, Francesca, I have a question that's just
necessarily
come up here.
Yes, what's the question? I'm ready for it.
So was that 3 tablespoons of oil?
That was 4 tablespoons
Okay.
of extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
I just bought this. This is a beautiful oil. You know that I love my extra virgin olive oils for the ones who have been following me in the past. This one here, you can see, look how beautifully green it is. Mm-hmm. This is unfiltered. It's absolutely delicious. It's obviously
What's
Italian.
the name of that and where did you get it?
It's called Non Bello, and it's an Italian reserve. So it's a very, very limited edition. And I bought it actually at Trader Joe's. That's where I buy most of my stuff because I like the products. And it's pure Italian, 100% Italian. So there it is. Love it. Look how beautifully green. Oh my gosh. This reminds me of my childhood in the south of Italy. This is how the extra virgin olive oil looks like in the south. Okay, so what's next? Let's just put the onion. So now we just have to wait for the onion to cook properly. This I brought it out because I wanted to show you how to fry the aubergine, but I don't think it's necessary. You all know how to fry. Because the one thing that's actually in this country, you're good at is frying. So I'm not going to teach you how to fry. In the meantime, maybe we can chop the mozzarella in smaller cubes.
I'm just going to rinse my.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's chop the mozzarella in cubes. I've got the other piece here. Because I need 2 of these logs, okay? Because the mozzarella is a very important part of the dish. And sorry, there it is.
Oh, thank you.
And I was saying, so the mozzarella has been introduced by Naples, the Napoletani, people from Naples, because this recipe initially didn't need mozzarella. It was just cheese, sometimes even, what's the other type? Caciocavallo. What was the other one? Caciocavallo, right? So even Parmesan cheese is not necessarily what you should use. It's very much like by taste. Caciocavallo is much more strong. Is that correct? Much richer. And
cheese.
Yeah.
Would you want this cube?
Yes, please. Let's cube them. And this one as well. We've got a lot of mozzarella here. I'm not sure we're going to use it all, but let's chop it. Now I can hear this is going nicely. So I am going to make sure that it doesn't burn. Then I will add the sauce. Okay, we need a lot of sauce. I hope for the ones of you who are following me and cooking at the same time, I hope that you saw my message a little late, like sent it like a couple of hours ago, because I realized that I said 8 ounces instead of 1 pound, which I don't know the difference yet. But I'm afraid you need a lot of red sauce for this recipe, because again, it's a very important part of the of your dish. So now I'm gonna put. You see, I'm gonna try it on here before. The half a tablespoon. No, that's too much. You gotta be patient. I don't know how to use this thing. What is this? This is a fourth of a tablespoon. There it is. Fourth of a tablespoon is going in.
If it's a fourth.
There it is. Is it? Yeah, 100.
It's a quarter.
A quarter.
Yeah.
A quarter. One
That's
fourth.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Quarter of tablespoon is gone in. I keep this one because you never know, I might just still need it.
So Francesca, at this point, if some people are joined late, could you just kind of,
well, actually, let's put it back. I don't need it.
if you don't mind, just going over, you know, all the ingredients that you're using this evening?
Yes. Okay. So so very, very simple.
Yes.
1 sweet onion.
1 sweet onion.
1 sweet onion. A can of either chopped tomatoes or tomato sauce.
Okay.
This is a 1 pound can, so it's like the larger can, or 2 of the regular small one, which are what, 18.
That one's actually 2 pounds, 32 ounces, right?
So no, this is a 1 pound.
Okay.
1 pound. So this is a 1 pound, and this one actually was peeled tomatoes, but I pureed them because I like. You know, but you can also have them chopped.
All right.
And
the other ingredients.
So let me just quickly put this in because I don't want the onion to burn. There it is. It's gone. Now I'm going to turn down a little bit.
And typically this serving size is going to feed how many people?
Well, they will be, you know, I said to use 2 large aubergines. So I think that we're gonna just basically, this is a what? 11 cups. 11 cups size. An 11 cups size dish. Yes. Okay, so this is more or less what we're gonna use. This is a lot of mozzarella. Thank you so much. This was a great job. I don't think we're gonna use all of it, but we'll see. We might. Depends. You know, if you like it very cheesy, you can. Otherwise, a little less. The original, I repeat, the original one didn't need mozzarella. And funny enough, actually, the original in the 1700s, when this first recipe was invented, they even used zucchini, right? Maybe marrows. So, so that's another way to interpret this recipe. I mean, and some people even use how do you call those? Fennel. Fennel. How is that? You know, fennel is a very difficult vegetable to use. I mean, there's only very few recipes that you can use fennel with. You know, so I'm gonna try that because I've recently read that you can use it. So next time I'm gonna do that and see how it goes. Anyway, so while we wait for our sauce to cook, and I'm going to give it like only a few minutes. And the reason why, and if you have seen me before, you'll know that I never, ever overcook my tomato sauce. How long do you cook the tomato sauce for? That's a good question. So I don't overcook it because it needs to stay nice and bright red, like now. So the minute you overcook it, it tends to turn like brownish. And if you see a lot of those like industrial sauces, they're like more on the brown side because they cook them for a very long time. No, it's just doesn't work. So we're going to cook it for another 5 minutes and then we're going to use it.
What temperature, Francesca?
This is on 4 out of 10.
So is
medium low.
Is it simmering right now?
It's simmering.
It's simmering.
Right now it's simmering. Okay. There it is. Good. There it is. It's simmering. So what we're doing right now, we're basically cooking the tomato, but also we allow it to evaporate a little bit because it mustn't be too liquidy.
So you're taking off the top,
I'm taking it
off
off.
the lid.
Yes,
Yeah.
the lid of the thing. In the meantime, remember my oven is on 375. Okay, because we're gonna use it just now. So the other very important element, and I like to always say, these are the colors of Italy. You know, my green, my white, and the tomato. You know, there it is. Your Italian flag. Beautiful colors. My favorite color is green. What's your favorite color?
I like green.
You see, you're Italian, but you also are Irish. So
No,
that
no,
could
no,
go-
no.
no,
No
okay.
Irish.
Not Irish. Oh, because that also would make sense, you know. But basil is just like you can't beat it.
I love basil.
Oh, love it. Okay, so and basil, you must never overcook as well. You know, you must never, even like for example, the green pesto, you must never cook the pesto because basil just loses the you know all its freshness if you cook it. So you're gonna see we're gonna put it in right at the last minute. I'm not gonna put it there to cook with the tomato. Okay. So the other reason why I'm cooking that for only 5 minutes is because once it's all done in the oven bowl, whatever. I never remember this name. That's another. Once it's all in, ready to go, it will go in the oven at 375 for about 30 minutes. So that tomato sauce will keep on cooking. So that's another reason why we don't want it to overcook right now.
Francesca,
okay?
how long are you cooking that for? Okay.
That's it. You see, like less than 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes. So let's just take this sauce now.
What made you think it was less than 10 minutes?
Because I kind of counted it. I mean, it's just like very fast.
No, just in terms of the.
But
yeah,
also you can
consistency,
see the consistency. It's still kind of liquidy, but not too liquidy, and it's still red.
So no tomato paste. You don't need it because
No,
you use
never use tomato paste. In Italy, we don't use tomato paste unless not in tomato sauces. We use it for like other things where tomato is not the main. It just needs to have a little taste of tomato, but not, you know, it's not the main ingredient.
You do not use it as a thickener.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, absolutely not. The best thickener is to cook it. That's the only way to thicken the red sauce. Okay, so we've got that going. The onion by now is definitely cooked because we still fried it ahead of time. Now, what are we doing? We're taking my spoon, my beautiful spoon. There it is, that my sister-in-law brought me from Japan. How beautiful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, I love this spoon. I hope I'm never going to break it. Okay, and then we're going to start the
assembly.
There it is. So first of all, we put our ingredients in front of us so that we know what we're doing. 1, 2, we can take this off. Remember, I put the salt in the sauce, so that's already salty. Okay, your pepper, I'm not a big fan of pepper, but if you want to use pepper, you go ahead and do it now. Put it in the sauce. So what we're going to do, first thing first, let's take out our Parmesan cheese. There it is, that has been grated, and it's about 5 to 6 ounces. Do you think? Like a cup and a half, cup and something? Okay. So now first thing you're going to put.
Francesca,
yes.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. I'm drinking a little bit.
You have mozzarella and you have Parmesan cheese. Tell me, is that going to be a bit of a confliction or not?
Absolutely not, because that is a very mild flavor. It doesn't clash at all. Cheeses don't really clash. If you think about it, think of the pizza with 4 cheeses. Yeah. So that's not a problem. No, definitely not. Okay, but thanks for asking. So first thing we're going to put, oh, look, this is my garlic, which I put at the end. That was also garlic there. I put it, but don't worry about that. I put it just because I like it, but it's not meant to be in the recipe. Okay, so there's the first section is going to be just a little bit of sauce so that the eggplant doesn't stick to the bottom of our bowl. And now we start. And it's first we put the red sauce, then we do first a layer of eggplant. There it is. Okay, let's put maybe a little bit of little corner inside. There's a little piece that we can put there, and then we put the mozzarella.
I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes.
Did you slice this eggplant that's baked here? Because it looks really thin. Did you slice this the same as the piece that you had?
Actually, believe it or not,
initially.
more or less, because I didn't slice it with a slicer. So obviously some are going to be a little thicker, like this one, for example. Well,
But it basically
yeah, it kind of condensate, as you say.
it dehydrates.
Yes,
or
totally.
It goes.
Condensed.
It goes condensed. It kind of goes flatter because it loses, because there's a lot of air in and obviously when you cook it, the air disappears.
Do you want to bring that out and just show everybody?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So this is the original, and obviously this is a very nice glass. At mine, we're not all perfect like this. I can tell you right now, it's not always easy to
And
slide.
what's the result there after you've?
After she grilled it under
Yes.
in the oven
Yeah.
for.
I didn't grill it. I just put it in the oven.
375.
375 for about 25 minutes. And again, if it's a little thicker, it will take a little longer. If it is a little thinner, it will take shorter time. You just have to keep an eye on it and just decide when you see that it's soft and kind of, you can see that I can fit my, I can squeeze it. It's very much cooked.
Okay, Francesca, you put your mozzarella over.
Yes. First red, then a purple. Let's call it purple. Then the mozzarella. Make sure that it's kind of covering a little bit, not too much, but not even too little. Okay, and then we can sprinkle a little. Do you mind to do that while I wash my hands? Great. Just give it one layer of a little bit. Let's see. Go put it. Yeah, just like that. Perfect.
Is that enough?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt because I didn't salt my, there, a little bit. I didn't salt my aubergines. And then we're going to take this guy and I love basil, so I'm going to use it as much as I can. And I'll just sprinkle a little bit of basil.
Now the Parmesan cheese that you used, is it a combination like the Pecorino Romano, or is it strictly Parmesan?
No.
Reggiano.
Strictly Parmigiano Reggiano, not even Grana Padana. No.
Okay.
Only Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay, so we've done the first. Now we're going for the second. So bottom line, that's what it is. It's just building layers. And actually, fun enough, in history, the reason I was trying to say it earlier on, and I'm not sure that did I say it, but did I talk about the what do you call it? The tapparella, the louvers. Yes.
Yeah, so like louver blinds.
The louver blinds. So the reason why it's called Melanzane alla Parmigiana, it's not because of the Parmesan cheese, but it's because of these guys. Because these guys, they reminded the original creators of this recipe of, what do you call them?
The louver blinds.
Louver blinds, which
Why?
is parmigiana. Parmigiana, that's in Sicilian, means louver blinds.
Okay, so that works like a.
That works like one of those, I guess. Okay, so let's just, there it is. I'm finding the little spot there.
Kind of reminds me of a lasagna, the way we're assembling it.
Correct. Yes, Italians, they love that kind of, layering. They love layering. And also messy. They like messy food. It's true. Be honest. And it's the thing about Italians is that they can have nothing in the fridge and still come up with like the most amazing dinner. My daughter comes here, both my daughters, they come here and they complain there's nothing in the fridge. And then I just managed to, create a dinner out of nowhere. And they're like, how did that happen? Yeah, because Italians know how to use leftovers. They just like creative like that, And I don't want to say that I'm particularly creative, but, I like to
Use what you got.
Use what I got. Yes. And I never throw away food. That's another
All
thing.
right. So
Never
Francesca, you've
throw away.
laid the mozzarella,
There it is.
and now you're putting over the parmesan
Yes.
again, and
That's
and
that.
then you've done
And a
your-
little more of this
and that would
guy.
be your second topping.
Yeah. So we got now 2 layers, right? I believe we do. So you enjoyed your trip in Sicily, eh?
Love my trip to Sicily.
And what is it that you enjoyed the most?
The food. The food was phenomenal. The sightseeing, just everything. The Sicilian food, the seafood is phenomenal. It's so fresh. There are lots of eggplant, the caponata.
I'm surprised.
The arancini are huge. They're just so delicious. You can buy them on the street in Palermo. It's just amazing food.
Oh, so looking forward to that. I love seafood. I must say that's probably my favorite, and it's so affordable there. It's just incredible. Have you had the how do you call those things? Oh, forget about it. I can't
The
remember.
arancini?
No. They're like not sea anemones. The
urchin.
Yes.
Urchin.
Have you had
Yeah, we
those?
saw them in the market. No, I did not. But what is really phenomenal in Sicily, it honestly is the most amazing market I've ever been to. They were grilling huge octopus, like whole octopus
Yeah.
on the grill right there in the market.
Unbelievable.
And they had the sea urchins and they had just amazing. I never knew so many varieties of eggplants existed.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And that's another thing that I really like about Italy. They really treasure variety, which I find that, for many years, in like globalization, made it more difficult to find varieties. They tend to just stick to one type or two because it's just more convenient. But in Italy, they really enjoy, I'm sure there were a lot of tomatoes as well.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, there must have been a lot of types of tomatoes.
So, Francesca, you put your third layer down.
Yeah.
Right.
Third layer. And again, this mozzarella is not exactly gonna melt, like the Italian mozzarella. When I make it with the real Italian, or when I make it in Italy, it really just kind of, you see it like melting. This one is not gonna have the same effect.
Is it the consistency?
No, it's just because it's not the real mozzarella. That's just the way it is. It's more like rubbery.
Are you using in Italy, would you use a buffalo mozzarella?
No,
just a normal
mozzarella di bufalo. No, I would use just a regular mozzarella.
Okay.
Last one. There it is. 1, 2. How easy is this? This is an incredibly easy recipe, guys. You can really, if you make, you can make everything ahead of time and then do it, for a special occasion. You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm thinking is this is much healthier than the fried eggplant, first of all.
Yes.
And
sure.
also, I like the fact that, and I love pasta, but if you are counting carbs or you're looking for something that's
good idea,
gluten-free, this seems to me that.
Yes, a gentleman actually on the chat asked me, when are you going to make a gluten-free recipe? And I said, well, today is a gluten-free recipe because there's no pasta in it.
Was that Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Okay, he said that he's loving this so far.
As I promised. But yes, it's let me tell you, if you need to eat gluten-free in Italy, it's tough. Because there's a lot of pasta and they love their pasta. I tell you, every day you're going to eat pasta in Italy. Luckily, now we've got with celiac issues that it's becoming more, prominent now. In Italy as well, they've come up with amazing type of pasta that is gluten-free, but it will never be the same. To be honest, it will never be. Unfortunately, for people who can't eat gluten.
Well, I have to say that as the father in the house, I can say that the girls do enjoy this dish the most. One of their favorites, for sure.
Yeah, this dish is very good. I must say, I really like it. And again, it lasts in the fridge for a few days. You can warm it up, either in the oven or in the microwave if you want. You can really keep it for a few days and keep on eating it. And I promise you, actually, the longer you keep it, the more it becomes, it soaks in and it becomes tasty, I find. It's a little bit like, what is it that you said? By the way,
the caponata.
Just, she's going to come back. Maria is going to be our guest again because she's actually going to make caponara, which is what?
Caponata is, again, with the eggplant. It's vegetarian. And we pretty much can use several things: capers, olives, red peppers, green peppers, onions. It's phenomenal. And the longer it marinates, the better it is. So, and I serve it cold and hot, depending on if it's been in the refrigerator for a few days. I just get it out of the refrigerator and eat it cold. It's phenomenal. And it's very Sicilian.
Excellent. So here we go. I sprinkle the last little bit of Parmesan, okay, which is going to create like a crust on top. When I put it in the oven, I finished all my sauce.
Okay, Francesca, so that's your final topping.
That's the final layer. As you can see, we didn't use all the mozzarella. We still have some left, but it's fine.
And you left the last topping as with the Parmesan cheese.
Yeah,
right?
Parmesan cheese. There's a little bit of mozzarella, so that is going to melt as well. Everything is going to melt nicely. And yeah, you don't want to keep it too long. You don't want it to dry. So we're going to put it in and we're going to leave it for about 30 minutes.
About or 30 minutes?
About 30 minutes, and then you'll see, you know, it might take longer, it might take a little less.
And what would make it take longer or less?
Well, you just see it. If it's nice and crunchy on top,
yes.
and it's bubbling,
yes.
you know, if it's bubbling, it's ready to go. Okay, so we're going to do that. Bye-bye. And remember, I put all the basil in the middle, not on top, because on top is going to burn. And I've got, because I'm not going to ask you to stay for another 30 minutes. It just wouldn't make sense. I've got the result. I made a tiny little, tiny sample that we're going to eat tonight. There it is. That's how it's going to look. Our lovely little, here, I'm going to put a little.
Do you want to cut that in half, Francesca, and then bring it out and show everybody the layers?
I basically made it like virtually an hour ago. Okay. So let me just try to cut it with a knife, obviously. And before I say goodbye, I remind you, you know, that as you all know, that I am, you know, going to be traveling to Sicily. Thank you so much, Maria, for giving us all this amazing information on this beautiful place.
Thank you, Maria, for joining us tonight.
Still have some spots available. So if you want to travel with me, please get in touch. I'm going to put on the chat, I'm going to put the link to the reservation form. No, it's not the reservation form, it's the registration form. So if you are interested, you can fill it up and let me know, and at least I can get in touch with you and we'll take it from there.
You have some guests here who will also be joining us in Italy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, correct. We have some guests and we will be joining me in Italy in May.
And before you leave, Francesca,
let me just try.
are there any questions going through to the chat before Francesca signs off here?
Yes, any questions? You can see it's a very, very simple recipe. You've got no reason to not be able to do it. There it is. There's the layers.
So it's still fairly soft in the middle, right?
It's very soft. It has to be soft.
Yes.
It's got to be nice and juicy.
And so the
It mustn't
melanzane is juicy in the middle.
Melanzane is juicy.
Juicy. Okay.
How is that? And you
Right.
can see it breaks. You can see, look, it's so juicy, it breaks. But as when I said the mozzarella, you see the mozzarella stays like, it's not like melting like the real mozzarella. This
Right.
wouldn't happen in Italy.
Question
what
from the chat. Did you
Yes.
ever use flour and egg?
Look at me.
Yes.
Okay, that is actually a very interesting question, because I was discussing with Maria earlier on, and I was telling her that sometimes my grandma used to fry the melanzane with egg and pan grattato, that is breadcrumbs. But that really becomes like a very much heavier dish and much more complicated, much more, you know, time consuming. So I think if you want something lighter and quicker, this is your best option.
Great.
But obviously, I mean, it's probably going to be much more tasty, because the minute you start frying, obviously it's going to give it more flavor. But, you know, nowadays I think it's, you know, this is going to be as tasty and it's much healthier. So I would highly recommend this option instead.
Just Francesca, what other questions? Just to reiterate the temperature
Yes.
that you cooked the.
This thing is still going. I didn't put the time,
Yeah.
but I'm going to do it now. Time. I'm going to do it on 30, because I'm sure that about 5 minutes have already passed. So 375 at 30 minutes. I'm going to do, 25. There it is.
The 375
Stop.
at 30 minutes, and then
Yes.
you're going to check it if it's
Yeah.
bubbling.
I'm going to check it if it
Yeah.
bubbles on the side and if it's nice and crunchy. You see, this is crunchy, you know, it's
Yeah.
been, so if it's crunchy on top and bubbling on the side, it should be ready to go.
And
And if you
that's-
take
and
it
that's
out,
the-
it's still not ready. And I mean, everything is cooked. So
Is that
you
the
can't really know
parmesan or
it.
the mozzarella?
This is
there?
Parmesan and mozzarella
Together,
mixed.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, no matter what, it's going to be ready, because everything is cooked. There's nothing that is uncooked. So you're just putting cook the ingredients together and you cook them for a little bit. Come here. My great assistant tonight, the two Italians,
All right.
Maria and Francesca.
Ciao.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. I hope you enjoy this dish.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
Thank
enjoy
you.